So I'm trying to figure out, am I savior, sensing, or intuition? Because I think I'm a double observer, and I think I'm lead um, decider or extroverted decider. Um, and I don't know why it's so hard to figure out if I'm extroverted or introverted observer. Um, I just feel like I use all four of them equally. So I'm just going to try to talk about some things that I do and my thought process behind it. Even though a savior would be something that you don't really pay attention to, and a demon would be something that you do want to pay attention to because that's what you want to be known for. That's the thing that you struggle with, so you notice it, and there's whatever. Um, so let's see. When people compliment me for my props, they'll say like, "Oh, you're really good at that," or "They look really good," and it's so detailed, or whatever. I tend to like kind of brush that off, like I would if someone were to give me a compliment that I'm so friendly or efficient or whatever. I kind of brush that off, be either being modest or because I don't think it's true. So when it comes to people telling me that they think my props are really good, I mean I do like the compliment, um, but at the same time I really disagree because I know it can be so much better. Like I'm never happy with my end product. Um, I just feel like when it's all done, most of the time I feel like I I could have spent more time on the one part of the prop, smoothing it out. And I was just in too much of a hurry, wanted to get it done, and I just didn't put in the time to get the physical outcome that I wanted, um, which could be NESI. The knocking over the blocks with NE while I'm trying to get an SI goal. So NE could be um, a demon, and SI would be the savior. Hmm. Okay, let me try another one. When I'm writing poetry, I really like to use metaphors because it's just such a unique way to explain how you're feeling instead of, I mean, especially if you can't even find the words for what you're feeling, but you feel what you're feeling. Um, let me think of a metaphor. So the first poem that I wrote, and or the first poem that I wrote down after the breakup, it was like a day. It was probably even before the breakup when I was just really depressed, and I described a soldier alone in a crumbling castle, and the people that used to live in the city worshipped an angel, and the angel, or but now it's just the soldier there waiting for the angel to tell him what to do, um, and he is sent off to a war, and he goes out to the battlefield. There are no other armies, it's just himself. And even though it's just himself, he still ends up cut and torn from himself. And when he goes back to the castle, there's no angel there to guide him or to heal him. And it was, I mean, if I could get to it on my phone right now to read it to you, I would. But basically I was the soldier there. I did my duties for the city, um, for my house, for my household, for my family. Um, I tried to keep the house clean. I tried to teach the kids their schoolwork and work with them there. I tried to teach them manners. I tried to keep everyone happy and not have to worry about bills and stuff like that. I tried to take care of everything um, all by myself in the castle. And my angel used to be there for me all the time. Well, I mean, not, looking back, she really wasn't, but this was before the breakup, and it was just that she was physically there for me, and she was, I mean, even though I know I could have talked to her, possibly, she wasn't really the type of person to talk about feelings like that, so I didn't really feel like I could open up to her about that. But anyway, she was the angel that was there and had left, as in left me alone, depressed, wondering what was going on with her that was making her distance herself before the breakup that I explained in the other video. And I went off to war. I went off by myself and I isolated myself. And even though there was no one else there to fight with, even though there was no one else there to make me feel bad, my mind was just racing. Not, well, I mean, racing as fast as someone that's depressed could race. And just wondering if it was me, if I was the one causing her to be like this, if I was just torturing myself. And I actually did physically cut myself. So I went off to a war on my own, and there was no one else there, and I still ended up cut and bruised and slashed. And when I came back, she was just gone, and my castle was gone. She had left, and there was no one there to heal me. Man, that kind of went off explaining the whole poem. But is that NESI or SENI? And I think I remember from Dave's Superpowers that, or I don't know if I should call them Dave Superpowers or Objective Personality or Dave and Shan. I'll just call them Dave and Shan. Dave and Shan say that NI is kind of, or I think they said NI Dom is kind of like stacking. So you come up with a concept and you just build on that concept to control the abstract, to box it all up into one thing. And so I think with metaphors, a lot of the time you are taking in this physical thing that you feel. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not really sure. You're taking a physical thing and you're boxing it into a concept that envelops what you're trying to do, what you're trying to say. So I guess metaphors could really be SENI. What would the opposite of a metaphor be for NESI instead of SENI? Huh. Gathering with abstract instead of it'd be having something abstract that you're trying to explain with physical things. So is that like a painting? So metaphors, well, paintings can also be metaphors. So I guess one is a physical metaphor and the other is an abstract metaphor. Okay, so it'd be like poems are for intuitive Um, Poems are for intuitive metaphors and art in general, possibly, or physical art like paintings and drawings, tattoos, music are, well, maybe not music. That's kind of, I think that's kind of blurring the line almost. But paintings and drawings, tattoos, physical embodiments of abstract feelings are for sensory metaphors. My friend had a tattoo that she showed me of a torso, and instead of a head, it's got flowers growing out from the neck of the shirt, and that is a really good metaphor too, because it's a metaphor for self growth and watering yourself. So that's a really good example of a physical metaphor that would be NESI, I guess. And the poems that I write would be SENI or NISE anyway. So, yikes. So I'm thinking like one for one. NESI with the whole whatever I talked about first. I don't even remember. Oh, so I think that would be SCNI. Actually, just like not being able to remember a couple minutes ago, I can actually remember certain things really well. But I think it's mostly due to muscle memory. So when I'm learning a song, and I might have explained this in another video, when I'm learning a song on an instrument, um, replaying the same phrase over and over again, and then bigger sections and bigger sections, I just memorize it that way. I memorize it by the tune and where my hands are, and that's how I remember music. Like I can remember in high school I learned Toccata and Fugue, which is 11 pages. Granted, it's a lot of repetitive stuff, but I learned that and then I forgot it. And once I stopped practicing because I lost the muscle memory for it. The songs that I learn on accordion, the classical stuff, a lot of it is like 7, 8, 9 pages long, and I remember it by the tune. And if I forget it, I just have to find the note with the audio, which, according to Dave and Shan, I think I'm more, what was it? I think I'm more masculine with the sensory and feminine with the tribe stuff. I can't remember. I know it was a mixture of them, which would make me, and I guess no matter the order, I would still be an audio learner, or whatever they call it, audio based and kinesthetic based, I think, like the touching and everything, the sense of touch and the sense of hearing would be my strongest points for gathering information, which could be true because I'm big on sounds, um, and I'm particular about the music that I like. It has to make me feel, I mean, I gotta get those tingles on the back of my neck, or it's gotta relate to me personally. So it's gotta be something that I value. So maybe that's a case for FI. And so that would be, if FI were my demon, TI is my savior, then I want to be useful to the tribe, and I have low confidence in myself. I don't value myself, which is very possible. So I'm going to write that down as a possibility on my little table that I drew out. Yeah, you can kind of see. because I don't feel like connecting my printer this late at night, and I have a really crappy laptop that if you unplug it from the charger for more than 10 seconds, it'll just shut down and it won't turn back on. And the Wi-Fi adapter is also blown out or something, so I don't have an internet connection unless I'm literally 2 inches away from the router. And even if I am, I can't connect through the password. I have to connect through the little button on the router, which is kind of annoying that I have to go through all that to do it. Um, you know, something that's really annoying about trying to figure out your type when you're becoming self-aware or when you're already self-aware, and I don't know if I'm bragging, if that's peacocking or whatever. And that's the whole point, is that once you become self-aware, you're like, oh, is this something that I'm faking now? And I really hate being fake. I really hate showing off, and I really hate other people that do that too. Because it's like, aren't you as self-aware as I am? Like, can't you see how this is making other people feel? And it's probably, they can't. They're probably anything other than an EJ, you know. And especially if you get like an EP, I'm guessing that they don't really care about. They don't care about the people; they care about the things. That's what gets them all worked up, and they don't even think about the people unless they're self-aware enough, um, or unless it's their savior, unless they have like a tribe savior. This is just what I'm thinking. So if you're so self-aware and you can think of all these examples of every single function that you could have, and everybody has every function sort of thing going, and how can you tell which ones you're faking and which ones you're not? And that's why I'm making these videos about myself, so I can try to catch myself, I guess. Catch myself outside. How about that? Uh, and so it's like those little unconscious things, like just now, making myself laugh by making up a joke. And Dave and Shan said that FI is self-amusing, which everybody has everything. Everybody has everything. So sure, that could just been something, because I also like to use TI. I like to have my own method for doing things. When I'm getting ready for work, I always grab boxers and a shirt. I take a shower, and I always wash in the same order. I dry myself off in the same order. I put on my deodorant as soon as I get out. I shave if I need to, and then I put in beard cream. I get dressed the same way, pants then, or shirt and then pants, and then socks. And I take the same way to work, but that could also be known stuff, same physical known, which would be SINE. And it's like all the connection, all the functions are the exact same, and it's so hard to figure out which one it is, because TI is the process, and it's like the known process. So I guess maybe it's different from SI, because I'm not trying to control the physical, I'm trying to control the process. Is that how that works? I'm trying to control. It's supposed to be like my own reasons, so maybe it is more SI. But I know TE is all about your own method and sticking to your method, and TE is more about improving your method by gauging other people's methods, and they're willing to upgrade, which I am, but sometimes it'll take some work for me to accept that there's a better way, unless like I value it, like if I figure out a shortcut, or if I see someone using a shortcut, or let me give you an example. When I was working at the post office, one of the regular carriers. Well, I trained with one of the carriers, and she was known as like the fastest, even though she was the newest, and like that was always my situation. I was always like the fastest and most efficient. But oh my gosh, she was so efficient. Like I don't even remember this one. She did some specific thing, and I was like, oh my god, you can do it that way. That's that's so efficient. And I told her that. And if I see something that amazes me that much that it's that efficient, then yeah, I'm gonna add it to my arsenal, even though I don't remember what that thing was then. But um, so I guess I would say I have TE and not like stuck in my TI ways. Um, and I guess FETI would be like, this is the way we've always done it here, so we're gonna keep doing it this way, right? Like in a frat house or a sorority, it's like this is the way we've always done it. We're gonna continue with this method. And I know C.S. Joseph says that tradition is more SI, but that's SI is more like the known physical, wanting to control the physical. So it would be like um, we're all going to dress this. We're all going to look this way because we're in the sorority. We're all going to play this same sport because we're in a sorority. Is that more? Is that FESI? I guess a combination of them. Um, and NI would be like these are our these. This is what, or I guess FENI would be this is what we all believe here, right? Now I'm taking too much time to think about it on the video. um, I don't even know if I'm gonna post this video, but I think I'm leaning towards um, TE as my lead savior, and um, FI Demon then, and probably SENI, which I guess would be TENI. ENTJ. I don't really think I'm an ENTJ. I don't really think I'm an EJ in general. Like, I don't feel like I have that command of the masses. Um, like ENTJ, I don't feel like a general or a CEO, and yeah, that's all stereotypes. But I don't feel like I'm the one telling other people how to be more efficient. I don't give them my opinions on that. Um, maybe I have it switched up then, but and ES like ETJs. I don't really feel like that. I don't want to. I'm not comfortable telling people what to do, and maybe that's because I don't have the abundance needed from my FI. Um, Maybe I just don't value my own opinion enough to tell them that. And once I discover my self worth, then I could, um, then I could start to be a better leader. Like I can be a leader. I'm comfortable being a leader because I can figure out like this is what, like, you should do this here, and if you do this here and you do this here, then it'll work out. Um, yeah, that's SCNI with like is that's masculine sensory. You do this here, you do this, you do this, and and that would be TESE. You do this, you do this, you do this. Oh no, that would be it. Ah, fuck. Could that be TESI? You do this, me controlling you in the physical. Okay, I'm gonna cut off there. Again, this is the second video I've made in like an hour. Um, who knows? Maybe I'll make another one right now. Bye.